It's been so hard to stick with the boundaries that the Lord has placed in my life. It was actually depleting you spiritually instead of fulfilling you like you thought it was, but it felt good at the time, so you did it. You know what I mean? Hey guys, welcome back to the Truth Be Told podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Alexis Monet Howell, and I am super pumped, excited, thrilled, all the feels to have a conversation with you today. Y'all, we are talking about boundaries, and I know boundaries, especially in the Christian faith, are not easy because usually the boundaries that the Lord places in your life are things that you used to do that you found fulfilling, but actually it wasn't filling you. That makes sense. It was actually depleting you spiritually instead of fulfilling you like you thought it was, but it felt good at the time, so you did it. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about those boundaries, and I am here to just shine a light on how to set boundaries and stick to them. See, I could do the first part. I could set the boundaries. I've had other people set boundaries for me, and the Lord Himself has set boundaries for me. But I haven't really done well in sticking with them. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I've got three things that I feel like you have to have and do in order to stick to the boundaries that either you yourself and especially the Lord has placed in your life. Short story, there was a particular boundary that I needed to be set in my life that was from the Lord through a person for my good. And I was like, not having it. It was so hard to maintain that boundary, but it was for my good. And I actually found freedom from the spiraling down mindset that I had and the actions that I was partaking in because of that boundary. So I'm so thankful that I was able to actually stick to a boundary. But from that moment on, it's been so hard to stick with the boundaries that the Lord has placed in my life. Now, I want to say that that boundary that I was just referring to was when I was 16 years old. Y'all, I'm a whole 22 now, which is not old, but it's not 16 anymore. It's been some years in between. And I am like, okay, I've been growing in the Lord ever since I was saved, right? When I was 12, and especially when I was 17, I feel like I really kicked up a gear in living for Jesus. So now that I'm 22, I'm like, we can do better in the boundaries. I've been learning and growing in other areas. I got to get better with my boundaries. So, there is a particular boundary that the Lord has placed in my life, been trying to place in my life that I would do, but I couldn't stick with because I chose not to. And that is the sobriety chip that I've been talking about since the beginning of the year. And that's something that I'm still able to do. Super excited about it. Hope I keep doing it. So pumped. But it's been so difficult in other areas for me to maintain the boundaries the Lord has set. One actually area that the Lord set is watching romantic comedies. I'm a big lover of love, and I love watching the sappy movies, or at least I did, watching the sappy movies, Hallmark, that type of stuff. And when I was in the thick of my love for those kinds of movies, the Lord was like, it's not going to work for you. It's not good for your singleness. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your spirit. And though I heard the Lord, I hear you, Lord, I had a difficult time in keeping that boundary and sticking with it. Eventually, as time has gone on, have not watched any Hallmark. It's actually not a desire of mine anymore, which I'm so thankful for, because at one time it was a really big desire of mine just to sit back on the couch, eat whatever, and watch Hallmark. It was just the thing. But now I don't. However, I have been tempted throughout the years since that moment, which has been probably a few years now. I would say about 3 years. I haven't watched Hallmark movies, which is, again, really big for me. If you watch Hallmark, God bless you, but it's not my thing. and it's a boundary that the Lord's put in my life. So anyway, I have been tempted though along the way to watch sappy and romantic movies because I still love them. They don't have to necessarily be like Hallmark, but just like cute sappy movies, I really love those. And I've been tempted by it and struggled to maintain my boundary. It's been really, really hard, but I know that there is freedom in me not partaking in that. So that's just a specific example. There have been other boundaries that the Lord has set that I have just broken over time. And I think the reason that I've broken the boundaries and were just being unable to maintain it is because I was lacking one of these three things. So I feel like when you have your determination, the help of the Holy Spirit, and having accountability partners, you will thrive and be more successful in keeping your boundaries and sticking with them than if you don't have these things. So, as time has gone on and the different boundaries that I've placed in my life or the ones that the Lord has placed in my life, I could have like determination to not do those things anymore. And I can even ask the Lord to help me and just surrendering and all of that. But if I didn't have accountability partners beside me that knew about the boundaries that I was trying to stay within, it was a lot harder to stick with it and maintain it. And the same for vice versa. If I didn't have the determination, but I had like the Lord on my side and I had accountability partners, but I wasn't willing to do it, then I wasn't able to stick with it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like when it comes to setting our boundaries, we are really good in setting boundaries. I'm not going to talk to this person. I'm not going to do this thing. I'm not going to go over there and do that. There's a lot of boundaries that we set. We're not going to listen to this song or this genre, whatever. We're not going to watch this show, but we have a difficult time sticking with them. So my encouragement is if you have some boundaries that the Lord has placed in your life, that you would instill these three things, that you yourself would be determined to walk within the boundaries that the Lord has set for you, that you would ask the Holy Spirit to help you and just surrender what you want to do to the Lord and help you not do those things anymore. And then that you would have accountability partners, that you would bring people alongside of you, let them know the boundaries that the Lord has placed in your life and what you want to do, and ask them to be on the journey with you in prayer. If they feel like the Lord tells them something, that they come to you so that He can correct you through them, all the different things. I think it's very healthy to have these three things. And if you're missing one of the three, I feel like it becomes a little bit harder to stick with the boundaries, especially of the Lord. One thing that I know within my heart and have learned over the years is that the Lord doesn't just set boundaries in our lives for the heck of it, just so that we can't do something anymore, just to be like a fun sucker. Like, that's not who the Lord is. The boundaries that the Lord sets in our lives are actually for our good. Like, it's for us. It's for us to thrive and be better and to actually grow and do great things. But it comes with removing ourselves from something that is actually not spiritually supplying us with the things that we need. So I actually had a one-on-one kind of revelation, me and the Lord, of going to Him and asking Him, hey, does this actually spiritually fulfill me? Really going to God about the different things that I was doing that felt good in the moment, but really didn't do anything for my spiritual man. And as time has gone on, I am able to discern by the help and the leading and the grace of the Holy Spirit to be like, I really want to say that. I really want to make this joke. I really want to watch that show. I really want to listen to that song. But is it actually going to help my spiritual man? And if it's not, then I shouldn't. Because what matters most is my spiritual health more than tickling the ears of other people or fulfilling my flesh. Like, I want my spirit to constantly be renewed and revived. And I want my soul to constantly be encouraged and connected to the Lord. So those are 3 things that I would say. If you are having a hard time sticking to the boundaries that you or the Lord has set in your life, that you would do that. You would have that own determination for yourself, that you would ask the Holy Spirit to help you out, and that you would have people around you that can help pray for you and hold you up when those times of weakness come, because they do come. Okay, there ain't no doubt about it. They do come, but help and hope is here for you. So I'm excited for you to walk in the freedom that the Lord has for you. And I hope that not only are you starting to set boundaries, but you're able to stick with it. I love you guys so much. I hope this has encouraged you, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.